Hey, this is Dan.
This is Woody.
This is Will.
This is Kyle.
From a band called Bastille. Welcome to our Pandora story.
Bad Blood was the title track of our debut album, Bad Blood.
Debut.
Yeah, debut. And some would say which heavily influenced Taylor Swift's later work, but you know, we don't talk about that.
There was a brief minute where we owned that phrase. A brief, sweet minute.
Well, the best thing is I got a tattoo of Bad Blood based on my own band's success, and now I look like a Taylor Swift mega fan, which I am, but I wanted to keep it on the down low.
Pompeii, this is the opening track of our first album. It's the song that most people associate us with, or did for a while. And it's a kind of big, weird, epic tune about two ashy corpses years after the volcanoes wiped out their city, sitting in stasis together, nostalgizing over how bored they are and looking back on the city of sin they used to live in. So it's a pretty odd topic for a big old tune, but it's changed our life, and it was amazing to see it sort of blow up all over the world. And you know, it's the reason that we're still allowed to be in a band.
Good Grief was the opening track of our second album, Wild World.
It's the happiest song about the grief process you'll probably ever hear.
Yeah, I mean, how many pop songs do you get singing about funerals, guys? Not enough, in my opinion, but we set out to right that wrong with this tune.
That trope really belongs to the emo genre, doesn't it?
Yeah, and us now.
And us, yeah. And Will plays a mean bass line.
Oh, I do. Just generally. It's my bio.
Yeah. This next tune is midnight. It's the opening song from our third album, Doom Days. You catch the protagonists of the song in the back of an Uber, listening to Love Will Tear Us Apart, or screaming along to it as they drive through a city. They've left all the responsible people behind. They've all sort of gone home, and it sets out the stall for this album that's set over the course of this night out during an apocalypse. And we wanted it to have these sort of crashing break beats that sort of nod to the 90s and be a sort of Springsteen-y, big anthemic ode to wanting to stay out even though you know it's really bad for you. This is Bad Decisions. We wanted to make something that felt kind of like swaggering, like New Jack Swing-esque song about being resigned to things falling apart and things feeling apocalyptic, owning those terrible decisions that you might have made, doing the things that you find yourself doing even though you know they're not good for you. It's kind of about the end of a relationship. It's kind of about the end of the world, and it's sort of about Brexit, and it's about all this sort of mad, weird stuff that seems to be happening around everybody in 2019, and it's sort of about owning it and falling into the night. This is Those Nights, which we wanted to be this sort of kind of beautiful, woozy, end of the night song with all these different sort of 80s keyboards. There's a saxophone that runs the whole way through. Our friend Ritipo layered up this almost orchestra of saxes and brought his amazing musicianship to the song. And it's about that kind of yearning to be with someone at the end of the night. And it goes off at the end into this sort of, this band, The Streets from the UK, did this concept album for their second record called A Ground Don't Come for Free. And because this album is kind of a concept record, we wanted to nod towards that one. They had a song, Blinded by the Lights, that was sort of this club rave tune about wandering around a club. And so the end of this song goes into this instrumental that is this weird mix of like chopped up gospel vocals, saxophone jam, big distorted clap, and this sort of slightly ravey synth. It's a kind of mix of everything. And I think it's a kind of odd song, but feels like a sort of 80s anthem almost.
The song Million Pieces is probably, I think, the most fun song to play live off the new album.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like very heavily nods to kind of 90s rave, and it comes at the kind of almost halfway point of the album, and it's about coming up on certain substances and someone trying to talk to you about really serious things.
Really?
Yeah, really, yeah. Guys. Trying to talk to you about...
Herbal tea, right?
Herbal tea, yeah. Trying to talk to you about
caffeine
like...
hit.
Yeah, that serious, savage, sugar-free caffeine hit, yeah.
At 4 PM.
So when that's kicking in, someone's trying to talk to you about Brexit or Donald Trump or other ills of the world, and just trying to put that to one side and hopefully have a nice little rave at the end of it.
It's basically saying, like, look, these things are important. We should talk about them, but not right now. Like, come on, we're a party. Yeah. This is Another Place, which is... I guess it's the point of this night out that is Doom Days, that is, I guess it's a one-night stand, and we wanted to write a song that was about a kind of positive hookup where both people are kind of like totally fine with never seeing each other again, but it's just a nice thing. Because, you know, that happens. It can happen.
Joy is the last song on the album. So this is the point in the evening where you wake up at 8:30 in the kitchen floor feeling a little bit sore-headed, and you receive a call from someone who can kind of pull you back from the brink of feeling hopeless. Also features on vocals a lady called Bim, who was part of a choir that came out with us on a tour called Reorchestrated, and they're just all incredible musicians. Bim's voice is absolutely sensational, and she just really makes the track and gives it a whole kind of gospel uplifting feeling as well.
Yeah, something else we haven't really had in a Bastille song before. Hey, this is Dan.
This is Woody.
This is Will.
This is Kyle.
From a band called Bastille, and that was our Pandora story. Thanks so much for listening.